Jalango is an experiment that worked. Jalango is proof that hard work can pay. Like amejiamini na kifua kama boys alikuja nai akaingia slum, akaingia industry, akaingia government. That you've got to give it to him.
Yes.
He has a very good work ethic, very disciplined na nini. And for the person he is, ulisikia story fulani alikuwa anapiga ati alienda kwa interview ya watu wako na degree, alafu wakasema
yuko nayo
degree, but yeye ndio mtu anatafutwa.
Alisema hana ama I think he lied at some point, then eventually wakamfikia.
That was risk. So everything up to now, Jalango is risk that risk kwake has been a gift that keeps on giving, right? How far you can go with that will let time see. Because politics ya Kenya sahi iko at a place where, first of all, me and Jalas atuko nitwaje, sisi mabesti, si atu vibe ni so I have nothing against him. But my opinion of him kwa kitu kama politics ingekuwa he should stand for something like let people know you for this. Like you don't have to be radical, you don't have to insult the president, but ata president anafaa kuone ajue ujamaa kona principle fulani. Because say the optics would look like they've been swayed. Because the theory kusema wanaendea development does not make sense unless he does not understand his mandate as an MP. Right? There's nothing wrong with going to see the president, but kitu inamuuza ni the reason he's come up with. Ati tulikuwa nimeendea development kwa watu walangata. That makes the president look bad. That makes the president come across like someone who does not respect the institutions that are in place for development. Like kama MP unajua resources zenye unafaa kupata, you know the people who have elected you for a mandate, unaget for this and that. Like plus, politics ya Kenya ni emotional sana.
Plus the fact that UDA in Nairobi got very many votes. So there's no way you can ignore the whole of Langata, because you can ignore the whole of Nyalgunga, the whole of Siaya, but you can never ignore the whole of Langata, because Langata is basically 50-50 when it comes to who voted for UDA versus who voted for ODM. Itakuwa very close. You can't you can give the development excuse for a rural area, but not Nairobi.
But then again, we also are very Kenya ikona a lot of gray areas as far as principles of politics are concerned. Like there's no difference voting for UDA or ODM, and I'll explain. Unaona place kama Maju, wase wanajuanga ukivote Democrat uko na principles fulani kama za gun control, unajua education, kama ukivote Republican, LGBTQ, ukivote kama Republican unajua these people stand for I believe in this, unaget
the second amendment.
Like I wouldn't be quick to judge Jalas hata akasema ameingia UDA because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And even if someone may think nimesema Kenya Kwanza na Azimio ni the same, I think I'd be willing to apologize if we would see different in 5 years.
Because but do you expect anything to happen? Because like the fact that they've been expelled, I think I might be wrong, but constitutionally it means since hizi ndio parties ziliwa sponsor, there needs to be a by-election. Najua alafu kukiwa na by-election, I think if we follow the letter of the law, kukiwa na by-election, do you think this is a good idea, like going for another election and the party that sponsored you has expelled you? Do you think is the risk worth it? Let's say if the constitution is followed, najua kila kitu tukifuata vizuri.
First of all, the constitution cannot be followed vizuri, number one.
This is Kenya.
And even if Jalas does not lose his seat, this is not about loyalty to ODM or to Kenya Kwanza. The biggest thing for me would be like you as a person, right? What do you stand for? Unaget? Do you know vile nimesema the president can respect you? Unaget? Let's say for example, let's play the scenario. They get expelled. Ni nani ana lose? Kenyans, because the cost of elections, the cost of elections,
it's very high,
right? It's very high. Unaget? Those are resources that are going to waste at a time when people wanasema hakuna food, hakuna nini. Is it a justifiable excuse in the name ya kutafuta kufuata constitution? And also is it a justifiable excuse for someone to misbehave because the alternatives are not good? Right? It's sort of a tricky situation to find yourself in. Jalas may retain his seat for the duration of the period. Anaweza align na UDA, which I think is petty politics. You can't see the president, but I still maintain that Jalas amejiseti na kusema anaenda kuona president for development. Be as in stand for something. Sema, I have gone to see the president. If you are a street person, sindio? Sema kitu ina make sense, like nimeenda kuona president nani juu ya hii na hii, unaget? Like hakuna Jalas ni mtu mzima ameinvest kwa the party and nini, but sasa hizi vitu zingine za pettiness that for him to come out and say something that is not accurate at tumeenda for development puts him in very bad light in terms of you cannot even stand up to like the real reason you're supposed to.
But for me it's just like simple. I don't think, I think watu wanafaa kugrow up kiasi. Umsia kuamka akasema enda State House kuona Orezo. Orezo amemsummon. So who the fuck are you to say no? Huh?
Aliitwa hakusummon you.
Okay, aliitwa. So who are you to say no to the president?
You can say no based on if at that point your party is saying this is not a legitimate person. As much as you might not agree, you should nini, because UDA would not have given him that ticket. You remember Nixon Korir was the MP. So him getting that ticket was a privilege. Najua, because right now unaweza kuwa na ile kiburia, I didn't need this guy, but at that point you needed him. If he'd run on an independent ticket, it's either Nixon or the guy who ran with ODM.
But I think now it should come down to now maybe the constitution needs to be changed then, like in a way that umse saa tumemexpel but he was elected by the people of Kenya. So
you are elected. The reason why that was brought up was because of party hopping. Party hopping is not good for the constitution, but yani for the people at the end of the Nini cause. It means that the president remains unchecked. If all the opposition people move to the government, we have no opposition. So there needs to be a consequence for party hopping.
Kidogo. The politics behind yo kitu ya kuresign, I think is very dirty. It was, I think, wakati Jaramogi fell out with Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, alafu wakakuwa wameform another party, KPU. I think Tom Mboya rushed to create the law to protect the image of the president then, ndio isikue process rahisi ya watu kukimbia unaget kuingia huku unaget. It was a very political decision. I think I'll be interested to know kama US mtu anaweza switch parties like that, but it's very hard because there people belong to parties based on principles. Unaget. Alafu Jalas is also on record akisema watu wanaofariwa do. For him to say that, it's very easy for him to come across as a victim of ile kitu ya everyone has a price. Unaget. Alafu pia as far as politics is concerned, how much faith does his party have in him that unaona ni kama ile situation ya ukiwa na dem kwa relationship, like how much do you trust your woman around other people? Uko na dem mwenye akienda kuhangout na wase wengine, unaweza fanya shughuli zako ukijiambia dem wangu wako na principle in that haezi violate space yetu. So how much trust is there between Jalango and his party that akienda State House wanajua he is solid?
Because another thing would have been maybe a courtesy call to Raila, unajua
maybe
just ile nini. So I understand both sides. I understand him going and I understand him also being questioned, because history of party hopping, it makes kasa easy. We have no opposition, you know that, like we literally have no opposition, and it's not a good thing having no opposition, like what the president is doing, kuinvite watu wote, because umesikia the other rumor is they're getting 50 million shillings. I don't know how true that is, but you have to ask yourself, if you give me 50 million shillings and you tell me to come out and say Iko Nini is not a good podcast, I'll say it's not a good podcast. You know, this is a lot of money. 50 million is a lot of money. Let's be realistic. If it's true,
if your decisions are based on money, number one.
And
na I think it takes a lot of skill to get from the level of being influenced by money to being influenced on principle. And that does not mean you glorify poverty. That does not mean you stay poor. Yes, everyone has a price, but kwanza one of the most powerful things nimekutana nazo ni nani TI alisema true wealth is measured by the number of things you have that cannot be bought by money. Unaget? So it's a whole new conversation. How do you separate your being, your wewe kukua wewe from money? Alafu for this conversation ya Jalas, it's also very complicated because I stand corrected. I also think party leader wa Jalas, who's Raila Odinga, His Excellency, ali water down hii kitu yenye unaweza nini kwa hii kitu, ali water down the idea ya being in conversation with the other side. Because he himself on all odds alifanya hii kitu yenye Jalas amefanya on a new level. Jalas amekuja amesema he's still a member of ODM. Raila alitoka akasema he's working with the government. Right? So I think pia sort of kwa conversation when maybe this has watered down the criticism Jalas would get because the same people accusing him of doing this have done it before and on a bigger scale.
Kuna hiyo level ya the fact that Raila mwenyewe you flip anatoka this side to this other side. And I think right now it's because we are in the middle of year, like the opposition was there, like wakisema the way this is they won etc. Then the next day uko hapo ukipiga picha. But now talking of Jalango and money, I'd say that I'm also not surprised because this guy I've known him as a very savvy businessman. Like Jalango is the sort of guy who never walks away from a shilling, if that makes sense. And of course, for you to be a billionaire, you have to respect 1 shilling. You understand? So by what I mean by that is this is the guy who used to do Kiss in the morning. Straight after Kiss in the morning, he had a live show every day on YouTube. Remember? Monday to Friday. And apart from me live show, he'd still have ile nini alikuwa nafanya na nani ile like wana na Mwakideu ile building with Jalas and Mwakideu. That's a whole other YouTube channel. Then all these endorsements that he do. So unaona, alafu right now as an MP, he's being an MP and he's gone back to doing interviews. So he's always someone who's always working for that extra shilling. So if supporting the president comes with any like financial rewards, I don't think he'd walk away. It's just in his nature.
I'll dispute the first part of that statement. Because number one, the common enemy is poverty. And people fight differently. Right? Kuna watu watafight poverty by following a strict ethic. Ikifika ni hapa, no, not me, right? And I wouldn't blame. Sema, I wouldn't support, but I wouldn't also blame Jalango for making decisions za kutafuta do an extra shillings. Unaona kama sahi ukiwa radio na anafanya YouTube and stuff. That's unaona coming from the place he has come from.
Understand.
Place of luck. Akipata kitu yote inakaa kama itamsukuma further from poverty, he will go for it. And then also we should also bring to the table why Jalango ran. Unaget? If he ran because he knows people make money. Unaget? Being called to the table kama kuna pesa as alleged is making money. He's true to his unaget? So if you judge Jalango based on what you think he should do, unaget? You are the one trying to get him to conform to your ideology on who he should be. Unaget? But as long as there's nothing wrong na kama, and which most people do, most people join politics because unataka kumake do. Kama anaweza make do in every possible way, if that's what he went for, he's on the right track.
Because me personally, I'm not judging him. The only thing wanasema like na try to understand his situation. The only time I'm calling it a risk is what if we have to go for a by-election? You see, this is something you already had in the pocket. This is something you could have told Ruto like the same thing nilisema you can call Raila and tell Raila like hey, nimeitwa hii meeting naenda kupatiwa do wacha nile kula kwa Ruto kura kwa Raila you know that also works I feel like if they'd called budange jam hivo like kuiona kwa news yuko like hey, niliwapatia tikiti ukapata hii kitu especially akina Karoli Omondi who I think maybe reign in Nyanza I don't know where they reign but most probably they reign in places where without that ODM ticket they'd never have gotten that post
no so, mi ndakwambia I think as far as this decision to go is concerned
yeah.
like ni aje ameenda huko it solely rests on him as an individual and I think your betrayal is something that they expect that Raila himself expects because hata yeye ameifanya
yeah.
It's a game like
politics is that
ni kuchezeana rough in the process and it's a lifestyle they've chosen to live and I think politics ya Kenya kuna msee ali compare why some things are the way they are unaget like unaona kama US kuna place inaitwa Nogales Nogales Sogara Nogales na Nogales Nogales Mexico yenye iko side ya US I think I may have mixed them up ni two places zenye zimekuwa split na kuna moja iko Mexico moja iko US moja iko na US standards moja iko poverty extreme right na they went ahead to compare two businessmen Carlos Slim na Bill Gates wakasema example fulani ya Bill Gates alijaribu kuna levels fulani akijaribu kurise ako limited na the structures that are in place as far as business is concerned right and these are structures that have been built for hundreds of years zenye zinaweza muallow certain level of competition but Carlos Slim pande ya Mexico is a billionaire because system amejua kugri system yote right but the moment kampuni yake moja imewahi cross US akakosa the competitive advantage alisuiwa for hundreds of millions of dollars
okay.
Unaget? So inamaanisha tuseme kama the things that we will blame politicians for not to excuse them but the things that we will blame them for zina date back huko kitambo like sahi ni ngumu sana kuhold mse kama Jalango to the standards of what we expect a society should be yet in a system that's already messed up